You all know a fire occurred December the 28th at 1504 North St. Francis at about 9:23 in the evening. The building was a vacant church building, which was reported to the fire department. The fire department did respond and reported heavy fire and smoke involvement inside. They were not able to go in initially. Well, they went in initially, but then were called back out into defensive mode. Yesterday, fire investigators were able to process the scene. Fire investigators with the Wichita Fire Department, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, as well as the Kansas State Fire Marshal's Office. Investigators believe that the fire was a result of a human act. This information is all contained in a media release that you've received a copy of. We do not yet know if the fire was accidental or if it was intentionally set. And so, with that being said, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is offering a $2,500 reward for information that would lead to the possible arrest of a person or persons of interest relating to the fire in the vacant Wichita church. If anybody has information, there are a number of phone numbers that they can call, including 1-888-ATF-FIRE, F-I-R-E. They can also call the local ATF office at 269-6229, or they can call the Wichita Fire Department Fire Investigations line at 337-9146. Folks can also, if they want to keep it local, they can call Crime Stoppers at 267-2111 as well. But the ATF is offering a reward of up to $2,500. What is important here is that we need information. This was a vacant building in an area that isn't heavily traveled at that time of night. We want to talk to people who may have seen anything, especially in the early stages of the fire, or perhaps even before that the fire was reported. We know that people had been using that building to get in out of the weather, to get in out of the cold, and we need to talk to those individuals. When we say that we don't know if the fire was accidental or intentionally set, it's possible that somebody was using a warming fire inside to stay warm, but it's also possible that somebody set the fire intentionally to destroy the building, and we need to talk to those folks and determine which one of those things happened.
Was there any electrical or gas service to the building?
No, there were no utilities, no electric, no gas, no water to the building.
So is that what you found inside, Brad, was some evidence that some type of fire had been set inside, whether it was to keep warm or?
That's correct, yeah. A fire was intentionally set. Now, the intentions, is it to stay warm or is it to destroy the building? We do have fire debris that has been collected and is going to be sent to the lab for analysis. That's being sent to the ATF's lab in Virginia, and we should get those results probably early next week. But again, we're really interested in talking to folks who were using that building to get in and out of the weather, and anybody else, passersby, neighbors, anybody that might have any information. We're encouraging them to call any one of those numbers.
Any idea how long people might have been staying in that place?
It appears as though people have been using that for quite some time. Yeah. It was unsecured when firefighters arrived, and in talking with the neighbors, it was quite common for doors to be ajar and open. So
the ATF reward is not something that we always see.
Correct.
Is there a particular reason for that? Is it because it's a church?
Yeah, the ATF is responsible, one of the responsible agencies when there is a church building involved in a fire. It's not uncommon for them to be dispatched to those types of fires. Of course, they get involved in other fires that we have. But especially since this was at one point in time a church, they get involved in situations where we need additional information. They're able to offer some reward money.
Do you know about how many this has been? I know that the mosque is the other one. Has there been any others?
I believe there was one other fire. It was earlier in the year, but it was not a fire that was suspicious. It wasn't a fire that was intentionally set. It was an accidental fire, and I believe it was in the kitchen of a church. So the mosque fire more recently continues to be under investigation. This one obviously continues to be under investigation. We don't have any reason to believe that they're connected, though.
Do you have any idea how long it had been since this church was active?
I don't know.
Do you know how old that building had been? We had 50 plus years, 30 plus years.
I don't know.
Yesterday, you guys were concerned that there might be somebody in the building.
Mhm.
Did you find any?
Yeah. Thankfully, there wasn't anybody in the building. We were concerned. There was significant structural collapse. I know many of you were out there and saw that. The ATF brought in heavy equipment to remove roof and walls and things that needed to be removed so that we could do an adequate search of the building. And we were able to search all of the building, both the ground level and the basement, and are confident that there weren't any fire victims inside, and no injuries were reported as a result of this fire to either civilians or firefighters. So thankfully, nobody was in there. They concluded that search around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So.